On today's show, Jenay from Lake Tahoe Yoga on the show.
On the show, ready to go.
That rhymed. Plus, we're going to be talking full moon yoga. Know what you're thinking, guys. Alex Ramon, Illusion Fusion, our new cover boy who does yoga himself.
Look at that guy.
And Steve Miller Band comes to town. They'll be doing some yoga on stage. At least they better.
I'll have a talk with them. I'll see what I can do.
Well, Wake Up Tahoe starts now.
Coming to you from the 12th floor of the Mont Bleu Resort Casino and Spa on the beautiful south shore of Lake Tahoe, this is Wake Up Tahoe with Dreu Murin. Wake Up Tahoe is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Good morning. Welcome to Wake Up Tahoe with Dreu Murin, coming to you live from Mont Bleu Resort Casino and Spa, the Wedding Chapel.
Wedding chapel.
I do.
I already did.
Oh, you already did. Dang it. Always try that. It never works here. Hey, good morning. Lots to talk about on today's show. Jenay from Lake Tahoe Yoga on with me today. How you doing?
I'm great.
On the water this morning at 7 a.m.
On the water, paddle yoga, and then I went for a jet ski ride, and then I came to see you.
The jet ski ride?
Yeah.
Where's that fit in the whole yoga thing?
Well, you know, because one of my yoga students has a jet ski, and she said, hey, we're done with yoga. Do you want to go for a jet ski ride now?
Oh, I thought it was a new thing.
No, it's just for fun for me.
Jet ski yoga at 60.
I think they only go 40. Right?
Oh, at 40. Downward dog at 40. That would be something new.
That would be something new.
Stand-up paddle yoga, though, Jenay. That takes place every morning here in Lake Tahoe, 7 a.m.
Well, 7 a.m. Mondays and Fridays, and then 8 a.m. every other day.
Okay.
So, yeah, I have this other class I have to teach at 9:15 in the studio.
So why on a paddleboard? Why? Or why ask why?
Well, so, you know, it's so funny. My students, the practitioners at the yoga studio, they're always coming to me with new ideas. And, 3 or 4 years ago now, one of my students came to me. They said, hey, look, in San Diego, they're doing yoga on paddleboards. And I was like, okay. And I said, we can do that here.
Yeah.
And so I tried it. It was really fun. It's really hard, as Adra can tell you. And we had a blast. And so it's just been going on ever since. And Chris Brackett and I collaborate, and it's awesome.
Lake Tahoe Yoga. Now, tell us honestly, how did Adra really do out there?
She did great.
She did okay?
She did phenomenally.
Honestly, like nobody's listening right now. How did she really do? On a scale of 1 to 10.
She did really great.
So like a 5?
I'd give her a 10 for her first
A
time.
10?
She didn't fall off the board until I had her do a headstand.
She does headstands walking down the hallway, and she fell off.
Yeah.
My gosh, I'm so disappointed in you, Adra. This is fantastic, though. And I hear that, like, the beginners classes are at 7 a.m. when the water's nice and flat. And the advanced classes are, like, around 4 in the afternoon on high wind advisories.
Yeah.
Where, you know, it's like... That's when you know you're good, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I can't stay on the board then.
Well, maybe you... Yeah. That's how you get your license.
Oh, they have a stand-up paddle license.
You got to go out there on that high wind advisory. It's like 6-footers and you're rolling all around. We should try that sometime.
You come out with me, Drew, and we'll do it.
I'll wear a life jacket, water wings, and my chicken. Hey, Jenay from Lake Tahoe Yoga on the show today. Alex Ramon on the cover of the Reno Gazette Journal Entertainer here. His show, Illusion Fusion, taking place at 8 o'clock at the Horizon Casino Resort. Tremendous shows, got a 100% rating on Yelp, never a negative review, much like you guys at Lake Tahoe Yoga. But I just talked to him this morning, and he says, hey guys, come see me 2 p.m. in the Heavenly Village. He does like a little sort of mock show, you know what I'm saying? He kind of throws things together. And I also wanted to point out, this pertains to yoga because his assistant, Megan Doyle,
she comes to the yoga studio, and I undo all the kinks from when she's assisting Alex, and I fix her up, and then she goes back and does her magic with him.
See?
Her illusions.
They stuff her in boxes and stuff.
The poor girl, she comes in, she's like, my neck hurts, I don't know why.
She comes in all like this, can't unfold myself. But that's cool. Like, that you get to work with these kind of entertainers. What other entertainers do you work with, Jenay?
So Drew is asking because... my first gig ever in Tahoe, I got hired to teach yoga at the Bunny Ranch.
I wasn't talking about that one.
Yes, you were.
Yes, you were. And those girls obviously probably need some flexibility.
Well, it wasn't only flexibility, it's de-stressing.
Oh, de-stressing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stress in that industry. It seems like it would be more enjoyable. I guess there should be some stress.
I think if you're a John, it's more enjoyable than if you're a bunny.
Good point. Good point. Hey, we got more coming up on today's show. We're going to take a look at some of the yoga that you and Adra did just recently. We're going to look at Race the Lake of the Sky, just 10 days away here in Tahoe, which you're going to be there. Stand-up paddleboard yoga.
I'll be supporting and cheering on and stretching out anybody that needs stretches.
We all need stretches. Happy 71st birthday to Paul McCartney.
Ooh.
Yes, Paul, 71 today. Doesn't look a day over 29. How does he do that? I just keep pulling that skin up, you know what I'm saying?
Personal trainer.
His belly button's about right on his chin now. I mean, they just keep pulling it up. But yeah, and it's our 71st show today, so it's a good correlation. So happy birthday to him. Happy birthday to us. We're going to celebrate our 71st too. We're going to talk the Business Yoga Conference with you coming up in the show. Also, your moon yoga.
The supermoon.
Seems a little romantic, gentlemen. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to go out right now to Adra and Jenay doing stand-up paddle yoga. This took place yesterday. And see if Adra really did earn her 10. We'll be back.
Good morning, Tahoe. Your weather today being brought to you by Getaway Reno Tahoe. It's Tuesday, June 18th. You have 66 degrees, mostly sunny skies today. Tomorrow, 65 and sunny for Wednesday. 70 degrees this Thursday, increasing through the weekend with highs of 78 by Sunday.
Hi, I'm Jenay from Lake Tahoe Yoga. I'm out here on beautiful Lake Tahoe at Lakeview Commons, and I teach stand-up paddle yoga out on the lake every morning. We go out at 8 o'clock in the morning every day, except Mondays and Fridays. We go out at 7. And what we do is, first of all, just find our balance on the boards, figure out how the heck these things work out on the lake. And then we go through a series of gentle poses, working on all fours, maybe 3 points, and every once in a while we'll stand on our head. But I make it basic and easy for everybody, making sure that everybody feels comfortable. And for those of you that really want to fall in the lake, we can definitely take it to that level.
Well, guys, I'm here with Jenay from Lake Tahoe Yoga, and today is going to be my very first yoga session on a stand-up paddleboard, and also, milestone moment, first time ever on a paddleboard. So there's more people than that are just like me coming out here.
Absolutely.
So it's okay, right? If you've never done even yoga, it's okay.
It's totally okay.
So how often do people fall in the water?
So it's so funny, I get that question. And my first year doing this, I would say never. Nobody ever falls in the water. I don't know what you're talking about.
You liar.
And no, it was totally the truth. And then over time, people, they want to do more things. They want to have more fun. And so people fall in the water. But usually when they're falling in, it's because we've all pushed ourselves a little too far.
Yes, but you're not allowed to push anybody into Lake Tahoe until July 4th. That's the rule. After July 4th, they're free games. Toss them in at Rubicon where it's nice and chilly.
It's so refreshing though, Adra.
So do you also come out and do the paddleboard races on Wednesday? Have you ever done that?
So, I'm usually at the studio on Wednesday nights, and Chris is always trying to get me to go, and I always say, Chris, I'm a yoga teacher, I'm not a competitor.
Yeah.
So I'll come out and cheer, and I'll come out and watch, but lately I've just been really booked at the studio.
Yeah.
But I totally support what he's doing.
So are there yoga poses that will actually help strengthen people with that upper
Absolutely.
so that they can be a better paddler? Because I know people like Damian Estrada, they train all year long for Race of the Lake, the Emerald Bay, all that kind of stuff, and the Wednesday night sub-series.
Yeah.
And so that would be what would you suggest as a good pose?
Well, so core strength is really important, whether you're doing yoga, whether you're living life, or if you're doing stand-up paddling.
Or MMA?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just throw that in there because I've been boxing lately.
So when we're doing our stand-up paddle yoga, we're talking a lot about using the core, learning how to balance on the board. And when you have core strength, you have support in your back body. You learn how to use the rest of your limbs with more control. And if you watch those racers, they're getting really deep into the poses, into the paddle, and they're coming into an awkward chair pose. So they're bending, they're twisting, they're pushing, and the whole board is moving because their whole body is moving.
It's like a rocking chair.
You got it, yeah. Or a hammock, maybe.
So that's something that we should do, is some chair pose today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we'll pretend we're,
do it. We'll see if you, probably what's going to happen is you're going to get on the board and you're going to be like, am I doing it right today? So we'll have to work on you being a little softer.
You're supposed to have your arm up and then switch.
Yes.
And I kind of think, well, I used to canoe a lot, so it's similar paddle.
Similar, yeah. What's funny is I get kayakers out here and they try and do the kayak paddle. And I have to say, no, it's different from kayak paddling.
Yep.
So we'll talk about that. I'll give you a little intro and we'll talk about how to hold the paddle and all that stuff so that you can see, you know, initially how to get on the water, and then we'll take it by baby steps. Don't worry.
Okay, baby steps. We'll be on the board like this, like baby step forward, baby step back. No. All right, well, look forward to what I'm about to attempt with Jenay here. So more coming at you in just a moment. Well, I got my paddle.
All right. So, I don't know if you'll have to adjust yours, but it's good to know how. On your paddle, there's a little clip, and you pop the clip out, and then you take your paddle, hold it up next to you, and you reach your hand up, adjusting the paddle's height until you can just fold your hand over the top. So go ahead and bring yours. Perfect. Then you take the clip, and you close it up, and now you've got your paddle at the proper length. When we paddle...
Should have put deodorant on. Just kidding. It smells like powder fresh.
Like roses. Lovely. So when we hold our paddle, a lot of people will take their paddles and they will hold them this way. This way. And when they paddle, their paddleboard won't go anywhere and they don't know why. So what we want to do is hold the paddle so it actually angles away from us. And people think that's a little awkward. It looks kind of weird, but that's how you get the most power. When you begin paddling, you're going to be on your knees because probably you're going to be very nervous.
I'm just going to leave that comment alone.
And you're going to hold your hands in opposite directions. And what you want to do is sink the whole paddle into the water. So none of this like light brushing the water. You want the paddle going all the way in, girl. Okay?
Okay.
When you stand up, because you're going to stand up,
Okay.
you're going to grab hold of the top of the paddle and about the middle of the paddle, and you're going to bend your knees, dig into the water, and push it out of your way. You paddle out to your hip, bring the paddle forward again, and then paddle out to your hip again. Beautiful form. Lovely. So would you like to know how to get on a paddleboard?
Yes.
All right. First thing we're going to do is walk over to the paddleboards, take your paddle, lay it out on the front of your board, and we're going to get in the water. Okay. So walking into the water, you grab the center of your board, tow it out into the water. Once you have your paddleboard out into the water, you're going to plant your palms and draw one knee onto the board. Then draw the other knee onto the board. You're on your paddleboard.
Yay! Yay, I'm on 4 points.
4 points.
Cow crap. I'm doing yoga already, guys. Look at me. It's my first time. Okay, now what are we going to do?
So now we grab our paddles, and we're going to begin by paddling backwards so we can back out of where we are without crashing into people. So you pull the paddles towards the front of the board, go from side to side, and just back up your board. And when you have room, you'll paddle only on one side in order to rotate the board and turn the face out.
Jenay, you did such a good job explaining all these poses while we were doing them. Now, the down dog, I understand, is a resting pose in between where you can actually take the time to get ready yourself for the next, like cobra, chair, table. Explain to me a little bit about cobra.
So cobra pose is a posture we often use in the studio. When you're on the paddleboard, it's a pose that makes people feel safe because your whole body's down on the board. But it also requires a lot of arm and core strength. So as we're lifting our bodies up in this pose, we're also trying to engage and balance the entire time. So it's deceiving. You think like, oh, I could do a cobra pose, no problem. But when you're on the paddleboard, you're really working to maintain that balance because you're on an unsupported structure that's balancing and floating.
And that's difficult. I mean, when we moved into chair pose, the awkward chair, you really have to be really grounded.
Yeah, and as we talked about, you know, that awkward chair pose is a great pose for learning your stand-up paddle skills, period. It'll help you develop more strength strength while you're paddling. Those people that are racing, they develop more strength if they're working in that awkward chair, learning their balance and learning that their legs and their core help them to move on the board.
I liked it when we moved into a warrior. That was kind of scary for me. It did take a lot of time and really concentration, because you're doing all the concentration and the balance and the movements, and so you're thinking about a lot of different things. And once you move into warrior, which I thought was really great, we then went to crescent. And crescent, it's almost a trust pose at that point, right?
Yeah. And moving into any standing pose, where we've just got 2 feet on the board, and in our warrior pose, our feet are spread out. And so moving into that pose, it's not the pose that's the challenge, it's getting there, because rising up, your body's shaking, your legs are shaking, you don't know what to do. Once you get there, it's like heaven. You're in this beautiful balanced pose, standing on the board, and you're basically in a surfer stance. So then you can play with that crescent pose, leaning back, opening your heart to the sky, or coming into an extended side angle where you plant one palm and reach the other to the sky.
And probably people that are practicing their stand-up paddleboard and yoga are going to do great in these races that are going on across the country, because all of the challenges of turning around obstacles and things, and getting around other racers, being able to twist and use that body is actually going to be very beneficial, especially with that prayer pose that you were saying, that really helps the paddlers when they turn and twist to the side, and it helps them focus, but also the upper body, right?
Right, and whenever you're moving your arms differently from your body, you're basically testing out your spatial recognition. Oh, my arms aren't there to balance me. Holy cow, what's going to happen? And that doesn't matter if you have a paddle in your hands or your palms placed together. It's going to challenge you as you rotate.
Now, crow.
Crow.
That's difficult. Well, not on a paddle. But just attempting it is half the battle.
It's a really challenging pose, and on the earth, you have this stable platform, and we can use blocks and props to get you into this pose. But of course, on the board, the entire time, it's like, holy cow, am I going to fall forward? Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And I always tell people, the worst that happens is you put your face down on the board. It's not going to be bad. And if you fall off, hey, you're in Lake Tahoe. It's not like you have to go rinse off
and
afterward.
It's not that deep either. And there's life jackets if you need it.
Yeah.
Plow and plank. Like, we went down to the plow pose, and it's one of my favorites. It stretches out my back.
Oh, it's so good, right? It'll get deep into the piriformis, gives you that hamstring stretch. And plow pose on the paddleboard, I usually teach a couple variations depending on the level of the practitioner. So for beginners, usually it's just hips on the board, hands holding onto the board, feet up to the sky. And as we advance the practice, of course, you can flip all the way over, bringing your toes maybe into the water behind you.
Oh,
and
so
then
I'm advanced.
You are an advanced practitioner.
A number 10, I heard. For a beginner. Number 10 beginner. And then we did some low lunges and stuff, and that's really good. You were explaining to me a little bit more about why low lunges are good.
Well, so the low lunge is one of those first poses I do in order to see where people really are on the board. And some people are afraid to pick their hands up off the board. Some people can get to their thigh and they're like, that's as far as I can go. And then, of course, people who are very comfortable reaching their arms to the sky, once they get there, again, one of those freeing postures where you're on basically 2 points on the board. And lunge is a great posture because it is a huge draw for the thighs. You're lifting upward. You've got to have that core engagement, and you're getting this just amazing extension up to the sky, and you get to look around at the lake, and that's the best.
Doing mountain pose in the mountains is the best.
Right?
Now, but we didn't attempt a tree pose, so is that like for the advanced people? Because I'm wondering, are we going to do the tree next time?
So I've been practicing standing on one foot on the board, and I think you really need a balanced board, and you need your paddle to help you balance in those poses.
Oh, okay.
So I've been working with the brackets. Of course, they've been teaching me how to use that paddle as an extra foot, basically. But those postures are really challenging, and usually what happens come August, the groups that come in, I'll say to them afterwards, all right, what do you guys want to try? And of course, headstand is number one, which you attempted. And and you did. You had it. You had it. So that's always a super fun one. And once people fall in the water once, then they're like, all right, what else can we try? And that's when we start trying dancer poses and tree poses and those one-footed postures. But the balance is the key in these poses.
Anything is better than nothing.
Yes.
And just getting out there and doing it. I mean, I felt very kind of stiff the next day, but I pulled out and I did my yoga last night while I was waiting for my laundry. And so I got my yoga in last night. And I thought about you the whole time, because you like to, when you're working personal in your studio, I know that you're like to get up physically with your students and kind of assist them in opening up the hip more or bringing the heart open more. And so you are very hands-on, which is a great thing, because then when you're there doing it by yourself, you're like, wait, Jenay's pulling, like do it more. And so you're a really great teacher. So I can see why people enjoy your classes.
Well, thanks, Adra. It was fun having you out there with me.
It was fun falling in the water for you, Jenay.
welcome back to the show. Quick little shout out to a viewer of yesterday who I supposedly butchered his name. Well, it's your fault for having a tricky name. You know what I'm saying? Blame your mother on this one, not me. I didn't take phonetics in college. We're going to call him Callan, like the calendar, as he reemphasizes. But we're just going to call him K.
Okay.
You know, K?
Oh, D.
K? D, K, Jenay Day here on the show, talking about, moving right into it, full moon yoga.
Full moon?
I like where this is going.
But it's a super moon, Drew.
Oh, a super full
Super moon.
So you don't want to be in the back.
I had to do... I had to do the research on this because one of my yoga students, they go, did you know there's a super moon? I said, what's a super moon? So basically, it is the closest the moon will be to the Earth until August of next year. And so it's like huge, like big, super
like a
close.
harvest moon, but better.
But better. Yeah. And what's cool in Tahoe, you know, like you go out on the lake and the moon rises while the sun sets.
Sure.
So you look out over the mountains of Nevada side. And you get to see that switch up. So we'll go out at 7:30 at night. We'll paddle out. We'll see the sun set and the moon rise. We'll do some yoga. Chris has some lighted boards. If you want to pay a little extra, you can light up the lake underneath you. And we'll paddle back in the darkness.
How cool is that?
It's pretty phenomenal.
Now, does that have kind of like any powers? Like, am I going to have like some like recharge powers or?
I don't know.
You know, like.
What are you looking for?
I don't know.
Invisibility?
Like a full moon comes up, you're supposed to be like. You know, all of a sudden get that. I was just saying. I mean, you know.
I mean, if you know yoga, you know, they're the cities, which are the superpowers. You get like invisibility,
See?
levitation, shape changing. I mean, I don't know.
So you can shape my change?
Maybe.
Change my shape? Whatever?
Shape
my change? I'm going to come back thinner, flying, and, you know, have a bright glow to me and probably pregnant at the same time. This sounds fantastic. Full moon tours, what are they?
Sunday, June 23rd.
only one.
There's only one this month.
There's no redos.
I'm gonna try and do it once a month, but the super moon is just the 23rd. And then I should tell you, it's $40 for the board in the session. But then if you want the light up board, it's a little pricier. Chris said it's going to be $40 to have the lights on your board.
Now, does the light up board have any kind of like powers? Am I going to be like? You know?
They have one in their what is it?
Shop?
Their shop there. Thank you. And like sometimes I go underneath it. They're LED lights, so it looks kind of cool.
We're all looking underneath.
Whoa, stick my hand under there.
Cool. I want to get a light up board.
You do.
Just so I can find myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you get lost in the dark. You want to make sure people can see you, so when you're calling the Coast Guard, you know where to find you.
Or you could wear a headlamp.
Or I could wear a headlamp, yes. Steve Miller going to be coming into town the 22nd. That's this Saturday. That's going to kick off the Harrah's Outdoor Concert Series. Big series this year. We've been talking about it for weeks now. They finally got everybody in place. So Steve Miller's going to kick it off. Then Tim McGraw comes into town. And then 2 shows because it's just that good. Not 1, but 2.
Fish. I love fish.
Wow.
I'm a big fish fan.
I can see that. I mean, they do a lot of yoga on stage.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, they should be doing a lot of yoga on stage.
What they are now is clean, and that's what's important. Because, you know, for a while...
Let's talk about that for a minute. What happened? They went through a phase. Are they the same?
Yeah. You know what? They're cleaner. They're tighter. If you're a fish fan and you've been following them, since they clean themselves up, they're just a tighter group. Their music is just... I don't know.
My mom's been telling me that for days. Clean yourself up. Tighten up. Yeah. Trying to. Juvederm just not kicking in like it used to. A Wednesday night sub series tomorrow at El Dorado Beach.
Oh, yeah. They got that set up today. Holy cow.
Gosh,
they're getting
don't
ready.
they?
It's awesome.
They're on top of things. The Brackett family down there. Stand-up paddling. I think Lake Tahoe is the mecca of stand-up paddle.
It's the perfect place.
Between just the recreational, the yoga portion of it, the tours. They take on a tour to the sandbar. You can do some yoga on the sandbar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although last time I went there, they left me there. I don't know why, but I mean, it's just, this is becoming like a huge hub of stand-up paddling.
Well, you know, the lake is perfect. The view is beautiful. The weather is incredible. Yeah. And, you know, you've got easy access to the lake there. And, I mean, come on, the Bracketts have done a phenomenal job setting up that boathouse and getting everything going. So
they really have.
Yeah. And
now, what about people coming into town, Jenay? Do they call you and say, hey, I need to get caught up with my yoga. I've been in the car for like 3.5 hours.
Oh, that happened
They show up in their
yesterday.
Fiat and they're all bent over and they're like, I need help. You know what I'm saying? Does that happen?
all the time. Well, yesterday a woman came in. She's shows up. She's like, I need a yoga fix. I've been in the car for 6 hours or 8 hours. I drove here from Seattle. So, it happens all the time. And you mentioned Yelp. I mean, what do I have? 28 5-star reviews on Yelp. And mostly it's from folks that are not from Tahoe. You know, they've come here, they visited, bachelorette parties, family reunions, groups coming up just for fun. They give me a call. They say, hey, I want to do this. And
Now, this is just a rumor, but I'm going to throw it out there real quick before we go to break. Couples counseling, I hear, works very well in a yoga studio.
yeah, I agree with that. Well, I happen to have a degree in counseling, so that kind of does happen in our yoga studio.
Get your counseling on while you're doing your downward dog.
Yeah, well, you know, like just like in my office with my elementary students, if you're playing with Play-Doh, chances are you're probably not thinking about what you're saying, and you're going to say things that you're not thinking about.
In downward dog, no one's thinking clearly. I'm just telling you. We're going to take another quick break. We're going to go out, take a look at last year's Race to Lake of the Sky that's taking place in 10 days. Just 10 days. Going to be the best flat water paddle race series in the entire country once again. Named that last year. Super excited for this event. I get to announce it and have a lot of fun with it. Take a quick look. Here it is. Welcome back to the show, Race the Lake of the Sky. A bunch of paddlers out there paddling around in circles, having a lot of fun, great food, families, festivities, sunglasses, and yoga. Sunscreen.
Yoga.
Hopefully we need it. Hopefully it's not blowing 40 miles an hour like it is today.
20-mile-an-hour gusts today here.
Crazy, isn't it?
Lake wind advisory. This needs to end.
You guys start doing that like inverted stuff on the paddleboard on a 40-mile-an-hour wind, you're blowing all the way to Sand Harbor.
Yeah.
And then we're like, there goes Jenay doing yoga by the, we can actually see it in the shot.
Wave at me. Hi.
There she goes, all the way down. But there it is, Race the Lake of the Sky. You saw it coming up here shortly. Going to have all the top riders and racers in the world. And Red Bull just came on as a sponsor for this event, which is huge news. Taking it to a whole new level. And now we got a special announcement. We're going to save it. We're going to jump right quick to shout-outs. McCall Party Rendell's writes on our guest book. We got a guest book. I don't know if you've written on there yet.
I've written on the guest book.
I don't remember. Maybe you should write again. Under an alias. Under an alias.
I'll write under J.
Okay, you write under J. And K, Callan, pay attention. We loved your show, loved the harpist, would love to see more about Tahoe weddings. Well, we film it right here in the wedding chapel at Mont Bleu. So if anybody out there is interested in getting married on the show, I'm a minister. We can take care of that right here and there. We'll do a little yoga afterwards, and everybody will go happy. Adra is beautiful. I think Adra put that in there. No, one of the prettiest reporters ever, McCallPartyRentals.com. If you're ever in the Idaho area and need a tent or a kegerator, there you go, McCall.
Idaho.
Jesus McQueed says, you're the best, such a great attitude, having fun, love to see it. Thank you, Jesus. or Jesus, depending on how you spend. Chris Brackett writes on here. I love Chris Brackett. He uses awesome more than anybody else
He
ever knows.
texts me awesome like 3 times a day.
Awesome. Oh, yeah.
Everything's awesome.
Awesome. How you doing, Chris? Awesome. How was dinner? Awesome. What are you doing later? Awesome. Yeah, anyway, Chris Brackett writes on there, Wake Up Tahoe with Dreu Murin rocks. Awesome.
Awesome.
I swear, this is fantastic. New followers on Twitter. Adra would like to thank you for that because she works hard on her Twitter.
Does
She is a tweeting girl
Queen.
here in Tahoe. Stand Up Paddle TV joins on, who I worked with in Santa Monica. My Yoga Online.
Ooh.
Never heard of them. Have you heard of them? Now we have. We're
I probably
following
got an
those
email
suckers.
from them once.
Summerfest Tahoe, Playstay Tahoe, and at Dr. Tahoe, who's Dr. Josh, who will be on the show tomorrow. Whew. Tahoe South wants Tahoe to be nominated the 8th wonder of the world. Public voting is open now through September 30th. Virtualtourism.com, the leading travel website company, TripAdvisor Media Group. Let's just get on there and vote. Stack the vote.
I say we vote. I think Tahoe
Vote.
needs
Vote.
more awareness.
Why 8 though? We should be voting for the first wonder of the world. Why 8? Doesn't that seem kind of like we're holding ourselves back a little bit?
Maybe.
Vote for today, Virtual Tahoe. There you go. Vote for Jenay.
Oh, yeah, vote
Jenay
for
Day.
me, too.
It is Tahoe, folks.
But you know what else you have to vote for?
What?
The Business of Yoga Conference.
Well, that's just what I was getting
that
to
where
now.
you were
Business
going?
of Yoga conference going on. Tell us about this vote. You're just a little vote getter, aren't you?
Well, I try. You know, because when you get voted, it's because people like you, and basically the more people like you, the better you get, and the more students you get, and yeah, people
And I
like
wouldn't say it's a popularity contest. It's that you're doing good work, and you're doing good for
trying.
the community. And
I'm
that's why
trying.
everybody follows you and supports you like we do.
Thank you. Well, so Yoga Alliance is a group that basically supervises yoga teachers and makes sure that we're on the up and up and we're continuing our studies because we are professionals and we're working with people. And if you're not being a professional and if you're not staying up on your studies, then you're not going to be a good teacher.
I agree.
So they're putting on this conference this year that's called the Business of Yoga, and I would love to learn more about business because I'm kind of making it up as I go. And so they asked that you post a video on their website talking about how you use good business practices to support your community.
Sure.
And as you know, we do once a month community classes. We make donations to all the local not-for-profits in Tahoe. We made donations to Newtown, Connecticut after the shooting there. And we have a collaboration in Cambodia where we work with an NGO and a school there. And next February, we're actually doing a retreat to Cambodia where we're going to teach yoga in their communities there.
I'm learning yoga.
Yeah.
I got to be a teacher for this. I want to go to Cambodia.
It's going to be amazing. So I was just saying, hey, I don't think that our studio will grow unless we help our community grow. So hopefully I'll win and we'll get to go.
So how do we participate?
So it's on Facebook. You can type in Business of Yoga Conference or Yoga Alliance and you'll see it'll come up. It's also posted all over the Lake Tahoe Yoga Facebook page and on the Lake Tahoe Yoga website. So
Just type in Lake Tahoe Yoga. You'll
type
find
in.
it.
Yeah, you'll see my smiling face.
And then you get to go.
And then, it's an all-expenses paid trip to Washington, D.C., so I get to go to the conference, I get to learn more about the business of yoga, and then I get to come back here and do more.
Maybe you can teach Obama some yoga.
That'd be awesome.
Wouldn't
I bet he already practices. Michelle must practice.
I think so. I think so. That's going to be fun. Well, good luck with that. Let's
you.
support Lake Tahoe Yoga and Jenay. Quick little specials out there. Why Not Wednesday going on at the Boathouse on the Pier right there in Timber Cove. Half price glasses of wine, 6 to 9 p.m.
Oh, it's wine not. Cute.
Yes, we're there. We're there. Happy hour, 4 to 6 p.m. daily at the Himmel House. These guys are
Woo,
fantastic.
that place rocks.
They stuff an ostrich in a sausage and you can eat it.
You can order a half chicken.
You can order a half chicken. Or you can order a boot full of beer.
Yes. And you can drink it with all your friends.
Crazy. I mean, it takes you like 6 days to finish that. Also, Riva Grill, 8th annual Pray for Sun Deck opening party, benefiting El Dorado County Volunteer Search and Rescue. $18, all you can eat buffet and live music. Deep Fry Mojo will be playing there. CalStar is going to land their helicopter on the docks. Don't quote me on that. But $5 wet woodies. $5 wet woodies.
$5 wet woodies.
They better be the regular size one. I hate when they say $5 wet woodies and they come in a shot glass, and I'm like, what happened? So that's going to be fun. That's June 19th at 5 p.m. Wow. Jenay, I need some yoga
hopping.
after this time of year. I love this time of year.
Oh, it's amazing.
Isn't it so exciting? I mean, there's just something going on every single night. So Lake Tahoe Yoga, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you,
Jenay,
Drew.
follow her on Facebook, Twitter, all the other good stuff. Catch her every morning at 7 a.m. Unless you're an advanced stand-up paddleboard yoga person, then you go around 4 or 5
Yeah.
on a windy day.
And I'll wave from the shore.
That's what we'll do. We'll take a quick break. Adra will be back in for your daily update. We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Jenay, and I direct and own at Lake Tahoe Yoga on the South Shore, Nevada side of Lake Tahoe. Our studio has been built by our community, and we try our best to give back. Since 2008, when we opened, we've been offering community classes. At least once each month, we offer a class that's by donation. All of the proceeds are donated to a local not-for-profit. Throughout the past 5 years, we've supported just about every not-for-profit in the Tahoe Basin. 2 years ago, we developed an alliance with Journeys Within our community. Our work with them focuses on raising funds to bring fresh drinking water wells to rural Cambodia. We've helped to build at least 3 wells, and we continue these efforts. In order to take the next step, we'll be embarking upon our first ever yoga retreat in February of 2014. We will be collaborating with an NGO and a local yoga studio in Cambodia. And while visiting, we'll be donating teaching skills to their studio as well as supplies and materials. We want this trip to focus on karma and not on vacation, so we'll be working within the community, offering any type of support that we can. Lake Tahoe Yoga has grown as a result of our incredible local community, and we hope to continue to give back to Tahoe and to reach out beyond the basin in order to continue this practice of yoga. Thanks so much.
Welcome back to the show. Adra joins us now for our daily update today. And Jenay, she knows her stuff.
Jenay does know her stuff. She's
Very-
always stretching me and pulling me and contorting my body.
Stretching is good. Mm-hmm. You can run faster, paddle faster,
You'll be more flexible as you age if you continue to stretch.
think clearer,
I'm getting back into
can be a better
stretching.
drinker.
Oh. Well,
Shots.
you can be a better drinker. Like, you could probably, like, reach it around and come up and then pretzel it back.
Adra's got
Fun
our
bar tricks.
Hey, Liz, Adra's got our daily updates for today, which is
The top 9 craziest questions people ask yoga teachers.
I bet you I've asked at least 10 of these.
Well, that's only 9. So
But still,
what's the craziest one that you've ever asked?
Are we really gonna do that? Has anybody died from doing that?
Probably somebody has. Yoga is life-threatening.
No, it's not.
No,
supposed
it's
to be
good
so
for
real.
your heart. It's good for your body.
Let's start with number 9.
Number 9. Okay, so the 9 questions. Okay, these were taken from Oprah.com.
Okay, good source. About as reputable as Facebook.com.
Yes. Number 9. Why do guys seem to sweat more in yoga class?
Because you got girls bending over in front of you. Of course you're gonna sweat more. You're like, whoa. Is she really doing that?
We should be asking a professional, but Jenay, actually, it's something about their sweat glands.
Oh, okay.
But they were making fun of people like dripping sweat over them in their downward dog. They're like, no, it's like water torture therapy or something.
Well, they always put you in that room, that hot yoga class. They can put you in a room
Yeah.
like 120 degrees,
That's
and then you're
supposed
like,
to be really good for getting your toxins out.
yeah, don't try standing up too quick. Number 8.
Number 8. Why can't I do downward dog like a yoga instructor
You need to practice more at home.
with your friends?
Wouldn't that be cool if they gave you like homework for yoga?
Do you remember that one movie, Couples Retreat, where he comes up and he's like, he's behind him on the downward dog, and he's like, oh, persistence or something. Do you remember what he was saying?
No, but I remember the show.
Yeah, it was good. Okay. That's how you work on your downward dog, is with a friend.
Number 7.
Number
That's
7.
true. That's good. At home. Not in
Is
public.
working out without shoes some touchy-feely, new agey thing?
I
Because
don't
the
know.
yoga people don't wear shoes.
Oh. 'Cause- yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're more connected with the earth.
They're grounded.
Yes. Very true. Very
They're
true.
grounded, and you got to be able to like really feel and get your center and wiggle and sit on your bones and all kinds of good stuff.
9 crazy questions people ask yoga teachers. Number 6.
Number 6. So you sit around with your yoga friends talking about breathing all the time, right?
Yeah. It's like a segue to Lamaze class. And you got a mat.
I did yoga last night, and you have to take it's Kabbalah yoga.
What's the difference between Kabbalah and American?
I'm not sure, but it's the DVD I've been practicing my whole life. And you have to take 3 deep breaths in, and then you have to go, shalom. They make you shalom it.
Shalom.
It's not an om, it's a shalom.
American yoga deals with cheeseburgers and fast food.
I think so. It's like,
Downward dog, get the cheeseburger.
You know,
Upward dog.
my friend Sarah and I used to do drunken yoga,
Oh, I bet you
where
that
we
was fun.
drink wine and then we put it in front of us, and then while you're in a pose, you have to kind of take a sip, and then by the time you're like really working on your balance, it's good.
Hydration.
Hydration.
Number 5.
Number 5, don't you get bored of doing yoga 24/7?
That's a good point.
I don't think you get bored. I think you just get tired because your body's so overworked. That's why they look so good.
It's true. Yoga does tone. Like, girls always want to talk about toning the buttocks.
It works really good.
Is there a better way to tone the buttocks?
My best shape is when I integrate yoga into my daily or weekly
cycle.
cycle.
Number 4.
That's gross. What are you talking about?
Number
cycles?
4.
And talking about cycles, should I do yoga when I have my period?
That was the segue. She didn't catch it. You guys did, though.
That's gross. And it pretty much said, and they're talking about getting inverted more with this, because a lot of times the inverted poses, they say you shouldn't do them maybe when you're on that time or if you've just eaten a whole bunch. But it said in this particular article, and I'm not a yoga instructor, but it did say, it just let your body tell you what it does and doesn't want to do.
I've walked in a couple of times into the room and Adra's doing headstands.
Always do headstands.
Crazy.
You can find them on my other YouTube channel. All I do is headstands, and when the music stops, I've fallen.
That's how she works.
I have tons of them. Just
Top 3.
Me just headstanding.
Top 3. Number 3.
Number 3. Hey, do you want to go have coffee, have dinner, or help me with my chaturanga?
This sounds like a pickup
privately?
line. Is this a pickup line?
Don't you want to come practice
Don't
yoga?
you want to? Of course. After 11 p.m.
Well, and I guess people get hit on all the time because they look really good in spandex.
It's that Lululemon craze.
And
It's the Lulu. Yeah, this is see-through. I think that sparked it all. Now it's crazy. Number 2.
How much money do you make every year?
That's a question.
It is.
Oh, for the yoga
And
teacher.
you know what it said in the very first line? It said, unless you're the top of your trade professionally, such as yoga, blank, or balloon animal tires.
We have those.
I know. I was like, oh, he makes a lot of money, I think. I'm going to ask him, how much money do you make making balloons?
That's a bad question for anybody. It's all the time. And the number 1 question most yoga teachers get is,
can you look at my x-rays and tell me what's wrong with my back?
they're not a chiropractor.
But we're having one on tomorrow.
There, it's true. Tomorrow's show, we're going to have Dr. Josh, the chiropractor. Dr. Tahoe, he calls himself.
At Dr. Tahoe.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
What are you? I'm Dr. Tahoe.
I used to call him Dr. Bones.
That works too. That's going to do it for today's show. We'll be back tomorrow morning with Dr. Josh talking chiropractic, getting a little crack on here on Wake Up Tahoe.
Also, the Meyer Solstice celebration this weekend. And a special thank you to Jenay for coming in today, and also for all the stand-up paddleboard yoga.
And thanks so I can bend over backwards now.
You should practice
Thanks
on
to
your pose.
Jenay.
We'll start with
That's
a
going to
little-
do it. We'll see you tomorrow. Wake Up Tahoe. Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.